Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Next level security check. Can this get rid of all my stuff? Alright, so this is my Asus Chromebook, and I've created a USB stick. Now, if you want to know how to do this, you have to actually search out how to make a USB bootable for Chromebook. It'll give you, you've got to go to Google, install an extension, and you can do this on a PC, a Mac, or even another Chromebook. So, no big deal. You are going to need an 8 gig or larger stick nowadays. 4 years ago, you only needed a 4 gigger apparently, according to a YouTube video I saw. And there is some discrepancy, as per always, when it comes to resetting these things. Now, if I log into my Chromebook, I can do a power wash. Don't have to sign out of it. And I do the power wash that it says for resetting, and it wipes all my accounts, everything off this thing, and resets it to a brand new Chromebook as if it came out of the box. The only time you need one of these sticks is if you have a massive crash. But we don't have a massive crash, but we're going to do it anyways because, well, this needs a sign in, and we know how some of this stuff goes in life, and Chrome is pretty darn secure, kind of like Apple systems, okay? We want to find out if leaving it at this level will allow this to do the same deal as a power wash. Because like I said, there's back and forth information. Things have been updated over the years, so it's kind of a hard thing to tell what's really true anymore. So we're going to shut down this computer. Now, once you've created your stick on whatever system you've used to create it with, no big deal. I'm going to put that aside because you do not put this in yet. Now, I would also advise that if you do have a micro SD card that you're keeping important stuff on in your Chromebook, remove that before doing this, okay? Just in case, okay? So what you're going to want to do, hold down Escape, Recycle button, press and hold the power button for a couple of seconds, then let go of the power button, power light is on, continue to hold down these two keys until you get to here. Now, when you're creating your stick, by the way, there's a code down below here, which is unique to each and every single Chromebook. You will either have to make this stick by model of your Chromebook, or the simplest way to make sure you got the right Chromebook is actually use the code. And you have to type it in exactly as it's reading here. All capitals, you have to put the dashes in yourself. There's one spot in this code. I have a space, so I have to hit the space bar once, etc. You get the idea. So now we want to insert this stick, and this should allow the thing to boot up into its recovery. So it says, please insert, and now it's going to do that to my screen, and we're going to wait, and then we're going to follow the on-screen stuff. So it's verifying the integrity of your recovery media. Now, this should pass fine because when you create the stick, of course, to begin with, it's going to install it and it's going to verify it. And as long as everything went through smooth, you're fine. Okay? If you want to cancel recovery, press the power button and hold it down until the computer turns off. This takes about 8 seconds. It's safe to do so. To do this at any time during the verification process. So while we're doing this part. So we're going to have to let this thing sit here and do this. So as part of my new job that I've got that's kind of like a part-time gig, I have to learn Chrome OS now. And I'm learning more and more about it all the time. It's really not that hard. If you already understand and know how the ins and outs work on Macintosh systems and Windows computers, this is not, well, it is completely different, but it's easy to comprehend because you already have that knowledge base already of troubleshooting, making sticks, and working on the systems, etc., etc. So learning the Chrome OS really isn't that hard at that point. Now, if you are new to Chrome OS and new to computers, period, and you started with Chrome OS, it can be a little daunting, okay? It can also be a little daunting, too, if you've also got the knowledge of Windows and Mac. Now you're into Chrome OS. Things work a little interesting, we'll say. But not too bad if you already have a foundation in Android devices, because Android and Chrome OS are basically the same damn thing anyway, so it really isn't that much of a learning curve that way. But going completely, full in, like, I've never done any of this, period, right? Learning an OS, you can learn it. It's not that difficult. It will take you some time. So it says system recovery in progress. It says this will take a few minutes. Please do not turn off or disconnect the power. What we are looking for in this video is exploiting, if possible, a possible security issue with Chromebooks, because as you know, they say they can't be hacked or virused or malwared, which we already know they can be malwared, they can be virused, but so far to date, nobody from the outside has hacked into like the average person's Chromebook. Okay, like it has happened before, yes, on Macs. Extremely rare that a Mac ever gets hacked, let alone virused. And Windows computers, well, every millisecond people get hacked and virused all the time. But I don't believe that even these things are immune to viruses, because viruses can get in through websites too and infect your systems. So I don't believe that these things are all that in a bag of chips like they say they are, okay? But what I do want to know is if it is just as easy to wipe this thing as it is a Windows computer, because Macs have the highest level of security, even better than Fort Knox is my kind of example I use, right? Because Fort Knox is a pretty secure place, and Apple kind of eats them for breakfast and spits them out sideways. So for the kind of security, which does cause a lot of e-waste, as we know. There's very little e-waste on Windows computers because they're just way too easy to reload, put into your own sign-in and all that jazz. We've done this many times, talked about a lot of times on this channel. They just, as far as security goes, really, is there any real security and protection? No, especially from thieves, right? This, we want to find out if it is just as vulnerable by just doing this, because it's not hard to create a stick. But every stick, though, is unique unto itself to each Chromebook. So I've got an Acer Chromebook. If I want to reload that, I cannot use this stick. It will not work, apparently, according to Chrome. So it is unique to each particular make and model. Now, there is one video from 4 years ago that I watched. Well, this is doing it. Might as well chat. Where the guy had said, like if you go by system, because he did his by system, well, this system here, well, all these are falling in the same category, so it's all the same. Well, there's a yes and no to that, because that was 4 years ago. Today, things have changed, right? So now today, Google is saying unique to each one. Make sure you have the exact precise model if you're going to select by model. Otherwise, use that code, and you are guaranteed by using the code from that screen that you will get the exact one. So anyway, so I created this stick on my Mac. This way I could have that code visible to me. I didn't have to write it down, and boom, 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 and made the stick, and not a big deal. Now, I did format this under FAT first on my Mac, because I didn't know what to format it under, but it does say it erases it anyhow. But I just wanted to make double sure, okay? So that's how I did my formatting, so you can try it with just whatever, because usually USB sticks, they come pre-formatted, either exFAT or NTSF, usually, when you buy them new. So then you can format them for Mac OS or specific or what have you, all right? So I just went with FAT and figured, well, that works. Anyways, so this should take a few minutes, so they say. Please do not turn off the computer or disconnect the power. So the end result here, what we're hoping for, is that it completely annihilates all my stuff. So no PIN number required on the reboot, so this way I'd have to just sign everything back in manually, okay, myself. The other thing is I want to try having this signed in by a different person, because I did not sign out of this, okay? So I'm actually gonna take a small break from the video and have this signed into by my wife, and then we'll come back and see if she could put it into her name. I would do all that on screen, but private information is private information, passwords and all that jazz, so you have to understand that. But you saw where it was at when we started. It was in my name. We will restart this and see if it goes into her name and see if we have any success. The other thing is we could even just say, okay, well, if it restarts to just the normal sign in, then obviously it did wipe out all my stuff, because this is apparently supposed to do the same thing as a power wash. Okay. Now, this does become a issue on Android devices. Okay, if you're aware of Android, there's no Android notebooks. There's Android phones, Android tablets, and those things are a bit of a nightmare, because if there's still a PIN code on there, then you can't sign out of the thing, and I don't know the sign out process, particularly on Android. All right, so I ran across, I had four tablets to reset. One of them, the person had already signed out of, which was fine, and they had no PIN code, which was also fine. So it was just a matter of, in the end result, I had to turn off the Find My on Android on that tablet, and then it allowed me to do a full system reset, and it finished taking off their email address, all their any other stuff, and we wiped the thing naked and set it up as a new machine ready for resale. Okay, the other three had either a password by number or a picture code, and unless you can get past that, you are completely screwed. Other than, yes, you can force a hard reset to factory reset. It does say that it will annihilate everything, but it lies, it does not. And that is a difference between, I find, between Chrome OS and Android. Android actually lies, because with those three we were able to wipe out everything, except we still get stuck with a login screen. We still got stuck with the fact that it has not been signed out of. So Android actually has some pretty good security in that sense. Okay, with this thing here, of course, I bought it at the one of my local Hawk shops. It was already set up ready to go for a new user, which was fine. I did the power wash being signed in, and it did wipe out all my stuff like I said it would. So now it says, please remove the media and your computer will restart automatically. So let's do that. And now it's going to restart, and we're going to see where it gets us. Now, theory has it we shouldn't see a PIN code in my name show up, because we did a recovery. Survey says it wiped out everything, just like a power wash. Okay, so we want English Canada. We're going to get started. And now we got to go to a Wi-Fi. So let me put this in my wife's hands and put it in her name, and then we'll see if it actually all goes into her name where it should be. Okay, guys, I got my wife in here, so she's going to attempt to sign into this thing with her credentials and see if it allows her to just set it up as a new user. And this will then tell us 100% if, in fact, just using this USB stick on a Chromebook would allow us to wipe out anybody else's stuff, because I did not sign out of this book, nor did I disconnect my PIN code in any way, shape, or form. So that's up to her to do, but because there is private information that you guys are not allowed to see, also I have no idea how to blank that out on a video, so we're going to shut the camera off for a second and turn it back on as soon as everything is set to go, and she'll be back at the login screen. Okay, guys, she's into the installing the latest update. Funny, that should have been the latest version of Chrome OS. Apparently not. So this is going to be about 13 minutes left. We will come back once that has been accomplished, and she'll just continue going on. When we do come back for the sign-in, you will see that it's under her name, and she is going to just use a generic code that we don't care about. This way you can see her sign-in with her code as well, and then this way we know if this is definitely something that is a doable thing. Okay, so instant for you guys as per usual. All right, guys, we got the email address and the password, and she's in.
Signed in.
So now we just have to continue.
Accept and continue.
Yeah, accept and continue. Now she puts in her PIN. It's going to be her pin. It's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just for the sake of the video, because this is being reset in my name again after anyways.
Okay, next.
And type it in again to verify.
6. Pin has been added.
Okay, so click done. Right there. Please wait. So I did not sign out of my Google account, and I did not get rid of my pins, none of that stuff. And we're just going to skip that because we don't need it. We can skip this. We don't need it. Get started. And we're in, and we don't need Capital One shopping. We don't care about this. Now, we're going to go into settings right here. When we find the bloody thing.
Settings.
Currently signed in as Susan, which is her Google account.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can get out of there.
So did that overwrite your account?
It overwrite all my stuff. See, Susan Millard 7 is there, so shut down.
All right.
So this proves without a shadow of a doubt, guys, that a Chromebook is absolutely no different than a Windows PC. Okay, I can have my chair back.
Okay.
You can go. Thank you.
Yep.
So if I'm going to fire this back up, it'll get to the pin screen, which will now be the pin she put in, and it's all in her name. You guys have already seen this before in my name, and you saw me at the beginning of this video on the pin. It said Kevin Millard. So, and I did not sign out. I didn't do any of that. You guys saw that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're in. And this is now in her name. So, but I don't want to leave it in her name. It's not her Chromebook after all. You know what I mean? So we're going to go back here. We're going to shut down this little system here. And I'm not even going to sign out. I'm just going to do a straight out shutdown. Okay. Just like that. I'm going to start up with my USB stick. Escape. Oh no. I've got to do it this way. Escape. Recycle. Press and hold. Let go. Keep holding these two down. Insert recovery stick. And now we're going to wipe this puppy once more and put it back into my name. But we don't need to continue that for the video. So, when it comes to Chromebooks, even if you're buying a used one and somebody left a pin in there, don't worry about it. You just have to hold down the escape key, the recycle key, press the power button for a few seconds, let go of the power button, continue to hold these down, grab that code there, install a Google extension on a Mac or a PC, and then once that extension is installed, you activate the extension for the file, for the program, then you will type in that code exactly as written, make your own USB installer, and do this process, and you can wipe out everything that person had, including their PIN, their sign-ins, all that jazz. Now, I also further searched through the OS on Chrome OS, and I did not find any other kind of lockouts at all. So, like I said, there has been some information on the internet from older stuff to newer stuff and how things have been treated. This just actually does show and prove that in one instance, if there is no pin or you left your lid closed but you didn't have your pin for your lock screen for when you open it back up, okay, from sleep, if you didn't activate that part, which is off by factory default, if your computer gets stolen, they can just simply do a power wash right from the OS, reset it, completely, put it in their name, gonzo, or just reset it for a factory setup, just as if it came out of the box, and they can take it to the nearest pawn shop. This is when you get stuff stolen we're talking about. But also, if you buy a used Chromebook, okay, that still has the person's stuff in there because they're like, I don't remember how to reset it. Don't worry about it. Just do this, and you just reset it just the same way as you would a Windows PC. Now, this is a pretty bad thing that Chrome says, we're not hackable. Now, technically, it's a hack, but it's not a hack, okay? It's a security issue where you're not really as safe as you think you are, kind of like a Windows computer. I can take any Windows computer I want, been doing this for over 30 odd years now, and I can easily reset any Windows computer, okay? And just by using the USB boot stick and starting up from the USB, okay? This is doing the exact same thing. On a Mac, you can't do that. So even if you start up from a USB stick or a hard internet recovery on a Mac, ever since T2 has been implemented in Macs, the security is so tight, it is mental, and it causes a lot of e-waste because there are no current go-arounds for this with this Apple thing. And we've talked about that plenty on the channel. And Chrome, for saying how secure they are, this definitely proves they are just not that secure after all. Okay, so just to keep this stuff in mind, guys. I mean, you know, don't think that you're all that in a bag of chips when it comes to a Chrome OS, thinking you're that secure, because anybody who steals your Chromebook can easily reset it just to factory setup. Take it to a pawn shop, say, yep, it's already been factory reset, all my stuff's out of it. Pawn shop could be buying tons of stolen Chromebooks, never even know about it, okay? And so there you go. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much what we got to cover for you on this one. Thanks for hanging out for the video, though. Sorry it was a little long, but I wanted to really make double sure on video and captured on video to do this for you guys, because I did promise you I would. And obviously, we have proven that beyond the shadow of a doubt, this is something that can easily be overridden. So Chrome is not that secure after all when you really look at that side of the fence. So our next experiments, of course, we got to work out is my Acer Chromebook. I'm going to try and actually put Windows on it. I found the instructions on how to do it, and there is a high risk that I could actually brick that book. But then again, I'm going to make a recovery stick for it first. This way, in case I do completely screw it up, because it's not an easy task, okay? Apparently, but it is easy at the same time. It kind of is, but it isn't. It's a driver issue, which could definitely screw up your Chromebook. So you do need to make a USB recovery for your Chromebook before trying to pop a Mac OS or Windows on, but you will need one with an Intel chip. I just hope I got the right one with one of the right Intel chips, because this is an ARM-based chip and I can't do it on this. So ARM chips and what did they say it was? ARM and AMD. You can't do the Mac or Windows OS thing on. But Intel, yes, they say you can, but there is a high risk, right? And not necessarily is it going to work out to your favor either, even if you don't bugger up your system, but at least you should still be able to recover it in the end with the recovery stick, and you'll be fine. That's the cross fingers part. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.